water they move. Yes, it's enough to fill your stomach, but is it nutritious? Does it really nourish your body adequately? The same platform of World Food Day gives us an opportunity to discuss and tackle climate change and sustainability. Climate variability threatens our food security. You know that. The theme calls for joint action to promote climate-smart agriculture, drought-tolerant crops, water harvesting, and better land management, safeguarding our environment while ensuring food security. And that's where research becomes key. Promoting peace and stability, hand in hand, underscores unity and peace building through inclusive agricultural development, empowering our youth and women, and reducing rural poverty, recognizing that food insecurity can fuel conflict. So any stability of the country, the first guarantor for peace is food security. And of course, we support national development goals and international development goals. This theme perfectly supports our partial development model and our industrialization priorities under the National Development Plan 4 of shifting farmers from subsistence agriculture to commercial farming. And as you may know, an economically empowered population has a choice in what they consume. Ultimately, for Ugandans, this theme is a call to work together across communities, across institutions and sectors to improve food quality, to guarantee food security, to protect the natural resources, and create a brighter, healthy future for generations to come. And you may ask, why have we chosen Webtower Institute? The national celebration will be hosted at Webtower Zonal Agricultural Research and Development Institute, specifically at Kembogo Station, 10 kilometers out of Porto City, in Toro Sub-region. The choice is deliberate. Webtower is a leading research center under the National Agricultural Research Organization, specializing in tea, coffee, bananas, pasture improvement, and agroforestry research. So hosting there, the World Food Day will showcase how government through NARO is driving innovations that directly improve livelihoods. We also deliberately decided as a ministry to always rotate celebrations among our key installations as a way of raising awareness on the various activities that we are involved in. Last year, we were in Serele. So now we are in this other side of Toro Rwenzori. Our hosts will articulate the various interventions and progress made within the Toro Rwenzori sub-region in areas of research, value addition, seed systems, animal feed security, technology demonstration and training, combating malnutrition and post-harvest handling. On this day, importantly also, we shall be unveiling new crop varieties. Every year, just like you know, a pregnancy takes 9 months to deliver. So our researchers, every year, there is someone conceiving. They conceive of the idea, they get pregnant of it in the laboratory, they are doing antenatal things there you don't see. So, just like you deliver your baby, scientists every year, after having satisfied all the regulatory approvals in the ministry, get cleared to release new crop and breed varieties. So on that same day, we shall be releasing to the country. To release means this new variety is ready for planting. And a new variety or certainly is always superior than an existing one. Maybe they can explain what a new variety means. So we shall be releasing Irish potato varieties, millet, and banana new varieties, improved varieties by our research scientists to go to the market. They come with new properties, new characteristics that perhaps are better than the ones existing. I'm sure you've heard about long 4, long something, maize this, maize that. They are named after the type of variety they were raised with. drought resistant, takes little water, this and that. So it's an important day for scientists because it climaxes in them showcasing and bringing to fruition their work, which is normally closed in the laboratory. What happens in the lab, you never know it. Some things die there, just like you can have a miscarriage. So when someone is able to incubate an idea, test it, take it through the growth chambers of the laboratory and deliver it to the market, it's a wonderful development for our scientists. So I appreciate some partners as I conclude. So I want to thank the organizing team of NARO, MAI, FAO, alongside other partners in development for moving hand in hand indeed like our team to make this a success. You have our full support and encouragement. Spare no effort in making this memorable and impactful. Okay. As I conclude, I call upon all Ugandans, the farmers, the researchers, the policymakers, the private sector, the civil society and environment partners, and most especially you, the media team, to join hands with renewed commitment and energy as we work together towards realizing the vision of better foods and a better future for our beloved nation. Let us therefore make this 45th World Food Day not just a celebration, but a springboard of sustained action and transform lives and secure our food future. I thank you and look forward to seeing you at all at Reptile Zone Agricultural Research and Development Institute, Chambogo Station, Fort Portal City in Kabarole. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Madam Minister. At this moment, allow me to move around. Ebibuuzo.
Nkolesa abaye mu Uganda oba musooke mu buzibu era mbikwatira awamu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Paul Dennis Kato, who is the media. Honorable, we are concerned about these new improved food varieties that now these days they are becoming cheap. That's what we can agree, but again, we have our organic food. The organic food is becoming expensive. And whereas these improved ones are coming, but again they have a side effect on our health. I don't know what plans you have as a sector to ensure that at least we consume that food that can fit our body. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. My name is Grace Segenya from Sod Media. One of the questions is somewhat related to my colleagues. We are seeing the influx of genetically modified seeds on the market. These seeds, they are planted once and it cannot be planted again. From observation, it appears like very soon we shall be suffering from food shortage as a country. When you look at tomatoes coming from Kenya, this treated maize, which is on the market, you plant it once, it is sold expensively, some of it is forged. Then a dairy farmer cannot afford. As a ministry, what are you going to do to stop the inflow of such food items? Second, last season we saw hunger hitting the eastern part of the region, the eastern region. We saw people eating termites. All along, we have seen parliamentary committee tasking you to have food silence. It has not been affected. In northern region, we saw the same thing happening with the flood which happened in those districts. As a ministry, when are you intending to start having silence in those districts, and how much does it cost? Or it is a budgetary problem?
Okay, Mama Zeyo.
Thank you so much, Madam Minister. Mine, you talked about
Your name?
Roneta Twini from NBS. You talked about 25% of children who are starving because of malnutrition. Why does this paradox keep happening? Because we know it, but why that trend that doesn't disappear? Second, what actions as a sector are you doing to ensure that these vulnerable groups of women who are pregnant and children under 5 are not victims of malnutrition? he also talked about climate change, and I'm curious as the sector, what are we doing? Because it doesn't look like it's about to get done. So what measures are you putting in place? And my last is about what are the ministry's clear targets to achieve malnutrition by 2030?
Yazanyo nalbo kyenka nkibuze mu Luganda nze kunya George zimawuliza balo mutwadde MEDIA Uganda. Ekisooka kijagenda eri basantisi baffe ti bakoze kyamaanyi nnyo okutuzza emabega kubanga indigenous species okugeza nga lumonde balina kyebandula kawogo eri waffe ekiboga n'entiana tebikyaliwo mu bimaze ate nga byali byebiwooma bina nutrition za nnene nnyo okusinga bino bye buleeta. Lwaki mwasalawo bino tubifiisize ddala ne wabeera muwogo naye takyalabika n'ogenda okulaba endiizi mwaleeta ndiizi ono quantity eba y'amaanyi ne quality nga temuli ate akatale baagala nnyo okusinga quality okusinga quantity. Tugenda kikolera kyekyo basaba scientist. Ekyokubiri makyazinzireti naye ati sintegereko kyobaddeko malnutrition weeri naye ekizibu ky'ettaka gavumenti mulemeddwa totale okukirwanyisa ate ng'ettaka tosobola lyawula ku byabulimi n'okulima emmere. Abantu babajjako ettaka lyabwe gwe bandirimidde emmere ate gwe nojja okugamba minisita nti bannaye abaana bafa malnutrition. Ekizibu ekyo lwaki mulemeddwa okukirwanyisa okulaba nti eky'ettaka okulibba mweyanza
muleke kulibba naye mukyala kye babagamba temukola bibi mubikola. Any other? Okay, so we went. Okay, someone. Okay.
Honorable Minister, I am Ronnie Legea. I work for the Impact Radio. Mine is all about the food storage facilities. Recently, I heard that in the north, government had constructed some. But what plans do you have to see that in all the districts across the country have these food storage facilities for the wananchi? Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So some things are more or less related, and I will leave that to some of the scientists. Njagala manyonyere ku kintu ensigo bwe muziyita ensigo seeds. Omuntu wali ayogera Bukenya n'agamba mwe ba scientists lwaki mwajjawo ebyaffe ensigo zaffe ez'ennono, is that the right word? Traditional. Ne muleeta bino ebipya tibaabireeta. Scientists bajja kubataasa ensigo zammwe ez'ennono zagenda zifuuka nafu. Si ba scientists ngwe bazifuusa nafu. Oli mulwadde omunda yo tiwateredde n'ogenda mu ddwaliro dokita n'akola ki? N'akusala. Yaba akuleetera obunafu oba bulwadde bwo? So scientists tebalina bibaleeta nga bwe bagenda kubanyonyola bagenda ne bagamba tubale tulina muwogo yaffe osiga odamu n'osiga kati kulw'embeera kukyuka kulw'okukyuka kw'obudde ebintu bigenze bikola ki? Bikyuka. Kati kulw'amagezi gaabwe Katonda bwe yabawa mu ssomero bagenze ne balaba okunyweza ezo ensigo zaffe ez'edda kuzinyweza zisigalewo, but zisigalewo mu improved version. Nga ffe twali tulunda nte zaffe ez'amayembe, kati ez'amayembe zituwa amata matono tegatumala kunywa, tegatumala kufuna ssente. Kati ne tusalamu ne tuleeta ennumi ez'enzungu ekituusa ku nte zaffe. Kurose ey'enyankole n'enzungu si kate kalungi. kalina obwembe bubiri but sebo kalina amata mangi kusinga ki ezaffe enganda. So improved breeding mu bisolo, improved breeding mu plants, bascientists baffe bayingiramu era n'omu nsi zonna bwe bakola. So nja kubayita banyonyole embibo ezituna improved seeds. Then twawule kibayita GMO ne improved seeds. Bano bascientists baffe tebakola GMO, bakola improved seeds. So bajja kubabuulira enjawulo eriwo. Okay? Yes, ebiva Kenya n'awalala twasalamu ng'aba na Kenya n'aba na Uganda n'aba Tanzania tulina tubeera akatale aka kamu n'ebyaffe babitwala kasooli waffe agenda kati n'ebyowaabwe nabyo bikola ki bijja toyinza kubigaana. But njagala nkubuulire we still have a better advantage in terms of production, and I can tell you despite those challenges we still feed ourselves and feed the region. Ekintu kya yes, hunger or food insecurity in isolated parts of the country. That's why we are even campaigning. Kiki ekireeta crop failure, erratic weather. Okay, so as a ministry we are prioritizing irrigation for smallholder farmers, irrigation for medium scale, irrigation for large scale commercial farmers. For example, we are continuously pushing Ministry of Finance to ensure that all irrigation technologies, all eziri cheaper, buli kimu kyonna tekibeerako na musolo. And I want to thank them for listening. Government mu budget, ekizibu budget yaffe ebyetaaga sente bingi, enguudo zeetaaga sente, amalwaliro geetaaga sente, but the plan yaffe of rolling out precision farming technologies is clear. We know omuntu ow'ennimiro entono we bayita small scale farmer ayetaaga technology, ayetaaga a water source, either a dam or a stream, what could be a stream, sustainable stream. Tumweka solar neka pump, tumwenseke pipes, akole what we call water reticulation, amazzi afukironga. Bangi babikoze, but budget yentono. But ekirungi kati irrigation tumaze kugifuula priority. Ndowooza budget ezijja we shall have serious rollout. Of course, stabilizing agriculture in changing weather. The solution is simple, irrigation. But also irrigation can be sustainable if we are able to protect our water bodies. So it's a collaborative effort. Ministry of Water, NEMA, and we have government and government controversy, which could be the Mungaro. Because that's where the catchment of water is. But what our government, the one another, forests, that's protecting the environment. No what funa seke, no what funa engine, no what funa chi, we farm and more technology, no, what stand say, betaga amaziga kufukirira. Amaziga vawa, protect the water springs and the rain showers. So silos are not necessarily the solution, final solution of food insecurity. No, they are part of the solution. But the real solution is production. Uganda is endowed with arable land. Every district in Uganda, very few districts have unproductive land. Most of the land is endowed. We have to produce and produce more. We are not short of storage. Government has stores, but also the private sector has stores. So, twetaaga kulima fulumya emmere. Nze nga Minister wa Agriculture sina kutya kwonna ng'etterekero ly'emmere ly'ekizibu no. Tulina etterekero lingi ly'abantu buntu nerya gavumenti weriri. Actually, we have stores built by NAROs in different districts ezitali properly and fully utilized. Emmere y'okuteekamu tewera bulungi. So ekizibu si tterekero lya mmere. The problem is not the storage. To me, the problem is we need to double our efforts to produce. Kulwaki emwanyi buli omu asanyuse? Because abantu bateekamu amaanyi mu kulima emwanyi. Ssebo ne minisita waabwe naye yayiga n'asimba emwanyi. Ente zonna n'azimalawo n'asimba eka 88. Musajja kati kafulwa mwanyi. Because nayiga ibanga walimu akabisi kakawooma bulungi mwanyi eyo. We appear even the same with malnutrition you're talking about. It's a question of awareness. Our mothers eat as they were in their backyard, buying a dodo, buying ebintu ebibalancing a diet. But kati buli omu alowooza bwe banyagala nyaanya, banyagala butungulu, biringanya, eggplant, carrot, biri mu katale. Kati mu katale n'abirima, bw'otalima ne muganda otalima ne neiba talima, akatale kanaabikola ki? Temugenda kufuga ng'abaana abalowooza amata gaba mu fridge instead of coming from cows. So really, all of those, eddagala lyeririwa, you ask us, what's your plan as government? It's continuous education. Malnutrition is a problem shared by like 3 ministries. Agriculture has a role to play on advisory of the correct foods. Ministry of Health has a role to play on the feeding formulas. Education, Ministry of Education, kusomesa abaana mu masomero, balanced diet. So it's a collaborative effort, and I'm sure we'll keep bringing it down. And at the level of the Prime Minister, Madam Atwine, at the level of the Prime Minister, we have a coordinative platform on nutrition. So the Prime Minister coordinates us to come together. So even on this World Food Day, those are the things we keep emphasizing. Climate change is for real, but I'm sure we are not bad enough not to produce. If countries that will not see rains in a year, the Middle East, if they are able to produce in this covered, they are called what? Greenhouses. They import soil. What about us? We still enjoy fresh waters and we still get our rains. Though sometimes now it comes in an erratic manner with disasters, with hailstorms. We will still maneuver and plan. So our people, we call upon our Ugandans to change in their methodologies. The times have changed. The weather is a little bit harsh. So let's also change and confront the challenges we are presented with. So I think let me ask the scientists to explain the balance between seeds of the past and the seeds of today. Also explain about GMOs. People talk about it and sometimes threaten people wrongly. So let the scientists explain. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Honorable Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, in our food system, we have what are called land races, and then what we call improved seed. Now, the land races, these are seeds that have been with us for so many years and have adapted. The improved seed that has come as a result of crossing some two parents with a goal to increase yield, to increase disease resistance, to increase nutrition. Now, what happens in real production? With the land races, in most cases, they are disease prone. So when you grow improved seed in real production, what will happen? You will not be able to spray them with chemicals, while you will spray the land races in most cases with chemicals. So what is the distinction between organic food and non-organic food? What they call organic food is food that have been able to grow under natural conditions without any application of chemicals. And that are the improved seed. So to say that with the introduction of improved seed, we are compromising more on organic food is not necessarily true. That's what I would like to explain on that. How about GMOs? Is it true that in this country we have an influx of genetically modified seed on the market? The answer is no. And what makes it no, to begin with, we do not have a law that enables us as a country to actually grow genetically modified seed in this country. However, as a country, at research level, we are undertaking research in coming up with genetically modified seed that has improved attributes. We have seed for cassava, we have seed for banana, we have seed for potato, we have seed for maize. These are just waiting for the law to be rolled out. But how do you get a genetically modified plant? Traditionally and naturally, a non-modified plant, you get a female plant flower, you cross it with a male plant flower. When you make that cross, you end up with a plant that is non-genetically modified. Genetic modification starts from the lab, whereby you isolate a gene of interest from a donor parent, which may be related or non-related, and then you cross it to a parent of choice. Take a case of cassava. You can pick a gene from a cassava which is wild, and we call it wogo wogo. This cassava that we only see in our compounds, which is not naturally edible. And then you cross it with edible cassava at lab level, because naturally they are not able to cross as much as they can be crossed. Now, when you cross it and you get another plant, that plant is what we call a genetically modified plant. The same practice goes for other crop commodities. The art of generating genetically modified plants in this country is with us as research scientists. And genetically modified plants by themselves, they present advantages over some of the non-genetically modified plants. Take a case of cassava, whereby we have been struggling with viral diseases, both cassava mosaic disease and sunburn split disease. That's through the art of genetic modification, we've been able to come up with immune cassava varieties. And once the law is released, these varieties will be released for consumption and for production in this country. The case of hybrid seed, that when improved seeds are planted repeatedly, we get decline in yield. The answer is partly yes and partly no. Partly no. When you plant improved seed, which is open pollinated, the yield will remain the same unless it is infected with viral load or disease load. But when you plant improved seed, which is hybrid, and you repeatedly plant that seed, the yield will steadily keep decreasing. Why? It is because as you keep planting, the seed keeps segregating back to its original parents. And the original parents are not the same as the improved seed. And in most cases, the original parents are low yielding compared to the improved seed. The advice is that with hybrid seed, you plant it once and you go back and pick additional seed and you plant new fresh seed. Just because the yield advantage of hybrid seed is able to overcome and to pay for the cost of the seed. So there is more advantage in planting fresh seed for hybrid seed than taking the risk to replant the seed. We note that some farmers, some brothers and sisters in Uganda, found themselves eating termites. On a humble note, termites traditionally are nutritious foods, on a humble note. However, government has intervened. In Eastern Uganda, we were able to deploy new varieties of sorghum. In Eastern Uganda, we were able to deploy new varieties of maize, and we were able to deploy new varieties of beans. Government is not seated. Government has been able to make a contribution to ensure that part of the country is also food secure. How about the rampant malnutrition in this country? What have we done as Uganda, and what have we done as NARO, and what have we done as a sector? Good news for the country. Today, as a country, we have been able to tackle the problem of vitamin A deficiency by rolling out sweet potato varieties that are rich in vitamin A, by rolling out cassava varieties that are rich in vitamin A. We also have banana varieties that are rich in vitamin A. These are able to counter the effect of vitamin A deficiency. In the case of deficiencies of iron and zinc, we have been able to release sweet bean varieties that are high in zinc and are high in iron. And these are particularly important for infants and also very important for pregnant mothers because they help the good development of the baby while still inside the womb. We've also been able to develop high protein maize varieties, which are good for being high in protein, but good as a weaning food for babies. The porridge we give our babies, if you use this high protein maize, the baby is able to pick protein from a plant-based source. We've also been able to come up with what we call purple fleshed sweet potato. Purple fleshed sweet potato has antioxidant properties, whereby it rids your body of toxins, even when you do less exercise. This sweet potato variety is with us. And lastly, we've also been able of late to come up with black rice. With black rice, the advantage is that it tends to release sugar slowly in the bloodstream. And for people suffering from diabetes, this is a rice of choice because it regulates the release of sugars in the bloodstream. And finally, we have also been able to release a number of vegetables and fruits which are also rich in these varieties. Are we at risk in this country of losing our local adapted seed varieties? The answer is no. As a country, we have a National Plant Genetic Resources Center in Entebbe. And this center has all the collections of the wild type accessions we have in this country collected in that center. But even as we start our breeding work as a country, for some of you may know that in the 90s and 80s, in Eastern Uganda, we had a variety of cassava, Ebwana Taraka. Ebwana Taraka is no more. In Northern Uganda, we had cassava variety, Bao Bao. It is no more. In Midwestern Uganda, we had cassava variety, Nyaku Nyaku. These succumbed to cassava mosaic disease. But when we are doing improvement, we use them as maternal parents because they are adapted, and then we improve them. The versions of cassava varieties we have today, NARO, these are versions of the local adapted cassava, Bao, Nyaku Nyaku, and other varieties. Lastly, is there a risk that as we continue doing our research, we'll be able to compromise on the food system? No, we're improving on its resilience. We're increasing on the resilience of our food system because the varieties that we are rolling out are high yielding, they are highly nutritious, they are disease resistant, and they are adapted to the environment. I want to thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
I think besides the joking, I think we need sometimes an open day of interaction between agricultural scientists and the media. I think we need a day, we're going to be frank, plan for that. Because they need to understand, for example, when we were talking of the run races. These are the traditional, you have heard. Then you have heard about the hybrids, improved variety. Then you have heard about open pollinated. Then you have heard what? If it is open pollinated, the other one is what? Cross. So si kituufu okugamba ensigo zaffe z'abasayansi baffe zibataddemu amaanyi bono ezaffe zeenono zino bazitaddemu amaanyi ku lw'obudde kukyukakyuka ezaffe eziyinza kusobola kubeera nga bwe zaaba edda kati baziteekamu empiso ne bazigejja ne baziteekamu akawoowo zitandinge embeera nga bweri. Even mwena abantu mulabe nga bwe twali ffe twasoma tutalina shoes but abaana be kati nobwabeera tayinza kugenda kusomera talina ngato So even agriculture, you have to keep improving. So it is not true that our agricultural research destroys our traditional seeds. To the contrary, it supports our food systems. Singeno NARO tiyaliwo, you would not be having cassava anymore, you would not be having cassava anymore, you would not be having all of those. So that's why it's important for all day we interact with you as the agricultural sector, so that you can appreciate what NARO is doing, and I can assure you we have a strong agricultural research ecosystem. And as a country, that's why we continue to be a center of benchmarking. The other day we had the Director General of FAO coming to see us. Last week we were hosting the Regional Director of the World Bank. So feel proud, your country is safe, and that's why you should continue to protect the gains. Kale mu Luganda ukume kimwinako bannange. Okay. Oh, mugenda mulata nkitegeera mukikube bulungi. So musamale enaku 16 Oktoba tugenda kujaguza ng'eggwanga olunaku lw'emmere lwe bajaguza mu nsi yonna lwe bayita World Food Day, International Day. Tugenda kujaguliza ku kifo kye bayita Rwebitaba station ya kunoonyereza ya research e Kabarole Photo City. Tugenda ku lunaku olwo kulaga ebintu bye tukoze mu kuleetera abantu baffe emmere ennungi eri balance. Tugenda kuyigiriza abantu baffe okulima okw'omulembe, okutakosa, obutonde bwansi. Tugenda n'okufulumya lunaku olwo, tugenda kufulumya ensigo empya abasayansi baffe ze bakoze mu bitooke, mu kalo, muyita mumondo obuzungu. So bagenda kufuluma ensigo empya. Era ensigo empya njagala mukitegeere, ensigo empya kitegeeza ki? Tikitegeeza ngu ezaffe nkale zaafa kati twaleeta z'abazungu. No, abasayansi baffe ku bukugu balina bakwatira ku nkadde zaffe ne bazongeramu amaanyi, ezigejjamu ezifunamu amaanyi okusigalawo obutafa mu musana, drought resistant, okugumira ebigwadde ebiwuka. So eyo emirimu ya sayansi baffe gye bakola. Kati ku lunaku olw'emmere, World International Food Day, ebyo tugenda kulaga abantu baffe n'okugabana amagezi, what they call knowledge dissemination and transfer, ku mwoleso kwetubeera okugenda kuba ku mbuga za Rwebitaba e-Food Court. So nsaba abantu bonna bajje tulabe olugendo bwe tutambudde mu by'obulimi n'obulunzi n'obuvubi. Mwebale nnyo, mwebale ddala.
Honorable Minister, babadde basaba DG yagwe ku Luganda.
DG agezeeko Oluganda. DG talumanyi. Yeah. I am the best in Uganda. Kyoli ansooka mu Uganda.
Honorable Minister, before you go, subject.
Baadaye sio akwata